is the Vegas Take with Sharp and Shapiro.
All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro rolling out the red carpet for hour number 3. Glad you could join us. By the way, a reminder, tomorrow on the show, former UNLV quarterback and SportsCenter anchor Kenny Mayne will be joining us, so that'll be a lot of fun. So there's certain reality television shows I enjoy. I would say 90% of reality television, in my personal opinion, is crap. It really is. It's just awful. It's scripted. It's terrible. But the guy we have with us in studio right now, big fan of his show. 15 seasons he had on the Animal Planet. You know how difficult that is to just have one solid season on any network? He's done 15. It's incredible. He is Brett Raymer from the hit show Tanked. Brett, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Hey, our pleasure. Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
And I know you have some friends here with you, Leo and Chachi. I like the name, by the way. So Leo is friends with many prominent people in the music business as a music producer. So we'll have plenty of questions for you guys. But I want to start with Tanked. Take me back 16, 17 years ago, or way back in the when this first came about, where you said to yourself, God, I would love to be a reality TV superstar. Like, did that come about? And when was that first thought in your head?
So, I mean, not reality television, but growing up as a kid, I was a great athlete, and I always thought I was going to be, a famous athlete. And then when I was 16, I blew my knee out, and then I knew that was over. So I was like, I always had the back of trying to be famous in the back of my mind, but I was like, not going to be an actor. Back then there was no such thing as reality TV when I was 16, right? I just turned 50. So think about that. 34 years ago, there was no Kardashians, right? So, it's funny. We should have shot reality back then because me and my friends, forget it, we had the greatest reality ever. But, long story short is we had this aquarium business, and I was watching Orange County Choppers one day, and I turned around and I was like, these guys are great, and they're just regular people.
Right.
And, that's when the light bulb went off, and I was like, I could be famous and just be myself, right? So I used to go in all the time and bug my brother-in-law, bug my family, be like, hey, look, did you watch that episode of Orange County Choppers last night? Those guys turned a motorcycle into a rocket ship. I go, we could turn fish tanks into rocket ships. I go, are you kidding me? And just like you laugh, they laugh the same way, right? But you laugh because I'm being funny, and they laugh because they thought it was funny, right? They thought it was a joke. So it was like the family joke.
And you were being serious.
I was being dead serious. I was like, you guys are kidding me. I go, look at what we have. We got Redneck. We got Agnes. We got my dad.
It's kind of like Pawn Stars in a certain, obviously very different business, but in a way kind of the same, where you have all these characters and you're very good at what you do. They're obviously very good at what they do.
Yeah, we both got the two old men. The two main characters are bald. We got some similarities.
So when does that turn into a reality for you? That first conversation.
Yeah. So what's funny is I had a company out of. I didn't know what to do. When I had a buddy of mine, his name was Chuck. He used to sit next to me in the office, and I'm like, Chuck, everybody thinks this is a joke. I'm like, what do we do? He's like, dude, then we got to do it. I'm like, you know what? We got to do it. We had no idea. So we went down to UNLV and met with the professor, and he gave us the whole, walked our property and said, look, this is what you got to do. You got to, call production companies in LA and try to get them to come. Now, you're talking about, 14, 15 years ago. So Vegas wasn't, overly populated with production companies. We weren't shooting LA's right here.
Right.
So we started calling LA. So we get this guy, and he finally turns around. He's like, I'm coming to Vegas. And he's like, great. You know what? I'll check you guys out. So I'm like, all right, cool. So he comes by, he walks off facility, he looks at us, and he goes, all right, guys, you got something special here. He goes, all right, I'll do it. I said, okay, great. He goes, it's going to cost you $5,000. I go, oh, $5,000. I go, we got a little bit of a problem. He goes, what's that? I said, I'm $49.99 short. So he started laughing, right? And he laughed really hard. And then I got down on my hands, and I'm like, please, you don't understand. If you don't do this, my tombstone's going to read Brett Raymer, great guy, never got reality show, right? I'm like, so long story short, the guy goes, look, get up, you're funny. He goes, we're going to do it. So he shoots the reality show, and he shoots a pilot, and he shops it for a year, and nothing happens. So we get the disc back based on our contract, and I go out and I'm trying to pitch it. I'm pitching. And meanwhile, 2 years go by and absolutely nothing, right? Nobody's biting on it.
And they filmed what, like one episode as a pilot?
Yeah, one episode, 20 minutes, made it funny, whatever it was. Long story short is everybody's laughing behind my back. My family's all joke. It's like the family joke. I'm walking into work. I'm like ducking under desks. My dad's like, son, I was with the friends last night. We were playing cards, and I turned the TV on, and there was your show. I was like, yeah, Dad, thanks a lot. You're really funny.
They're just busting your chops, yeah. That's got to hurt a little bit, though.
Oh, it hurt, but it was more of the making of a reality show, right? I was like, yeah, this is going to be good. If somebody picks us up, we're going to have some meat here. So finally, my buddy back east comes in. He's like, dude, what have you been up to? And I'm like, man, I've been making this reality show. I'm like, do you want to check it out? So I pull it out of the safe. It's blow the dust off. It's been sitting there for a while. I put it in. And he starts laughing. And he's like, dude, you got a hit reality show. And I'm like, yes, one person, finally, you know? So then he goes, you know what? I got a buddy in television. I'm going to send it out to him, and let's see what he thinks. So he sends it off to his buddy, and his buddy goes, wow, you got a hit TV show. This is amazing. He goes, sign this contract. Let me send it over to here, and we'll see what it does. So I'm like, all right, cool. So finally he gets to the ultimate production company who is out of Philadelphia, Nancy Glass Productions, and she gets it, and she calls us up, and she's like, hey, fellas, you know what the problem is here? It's too long. She goes, all the good stuff's at the end of the pilot. She goes, after 10 minutes, they shut it off. They probably never even saw this. So she takes the disc, she recuts it up. 2 weeks go by, and 3 years later, we wound up getting picked up by Animal Planet.
That is incredible. Now, is it fair to say you've made millions of dollars off this show? Is that fair?
I've done well.
You're a millionaire.
I would say I do
You're
okay.
very successful.
I'm successful. I do okay.
That is so awesome. Okay, describe to me the first time you can recall people going up to you on the streets. You're like a celebrity, and for the first time you experienced that. Was that weird for you?
It's not that it's weird. It's really going to make you laugh how it happened. I'm with my kids, and my daughter at the time, she's probably, oh God, maybe it's 13 years ago. She's 22 now. So, she's probably between 10 and 11 when it actually happened, maybe even 12 when it happened. And we're getting ready to go back to school because the first show aired, I think it was like August 18th of, 2003 or 2008 or whatever the date was. So I go, Kayla, our life is going to change from this point on. The show had aired on Friday, and we're going out Saturday and going, school shopping. School is on Monday. And she's like, shut up, Dad. She goes, our life's not going to change. She goes, nobody even watched Animal Planet. And I'm like, what? I'm like, and my kids just, they don't watch the show either, right? So we go out and we pull up to Boca Park, and we get out of the car, and I'm still shopping at Target, right? And we get out, and all of a sudden, kids go, Mom, there's the guy from Animal Planet last night. And I look at my daughter and I go, what'd I tell you? So we start laughing. We go into Target, and then we walk out. We go into Tilly's. We walk into Tilly's, and all of a sudden you hear people whispering behind us. And a lady comes over to me, and she goes, excuse me, you want to show on Animal Planet last night? And I'm like, oh, thank you, I was. And I go, oh, and life's not going to change, huh? So from that point on, it just got funny. And then
Do you like that when people go up to you and ask you for a picture or something?
Absolutely. You know why? It means I'm doing a good job.
Absolutely.
You think if I'm not doing a good job, people are going to be like, hey, let me get your picture. You're doing a terrible job.
For me, it's the opposite. When people say negative things about me on social media, I say I'm doing a good job because, people are at least talking about me, right? No, but that's cool.
You know what the thing is look, our fans made our show. It was a family show. I love people in general. We do a really good thing. We've done a ton of charity work. We just like being around people. It's just like doing good things.
Sure.
The show has brought a lot of good things. And not only has it brought a lot of good things, it's brought education. It's most important, the aquarium hobby, in the beginning when we made the show, people had a problem because they didn't realize the show it's 43 minutes, guys. It took weeks to make
one episode.
It looks like it takes, people really believe that it took 43 minutes to make that aquarium. So, you had to try to educate people and explain to them because people were running out, putting fish in their aquarium right away. But it was really the responsibility of the life, the people where you get the aquariums from and where you buy your things from to really educate people. We try to show them where fish come from, and we try to make fish enjoyable and have a fun hobby. You might not want to take care of an aquarium.
Kids, adults, everybody likes it.
Everybody likes it. You know what? And with a good laugh in between.
Absolutely.
When I watched Orange County Choppers, I did turn around to everybody, and I said to them, I said, those guys are a little bit too much like, on each other. I said, we need to be more like Married with Children. Because that's what most people are.
That's what people want to watch.
That's
too.
what they want to watch.
They want it to be real, and that's one thing about your show I always appreciate is that I don't feel like it was scripted. For the most part, the interaction was real. If you're just joining us, we're speaking with Brett Raymer from the hit show Tank. 15 seasons on Animal Planet. Okay, so help me out here, Brett. Who was the biggest pain of the ass celebrity that you had to work with? Can you give me a story? Someone that just really pissed you off and pissed off the crew. That was just a total and complete pain in the ass.
Yeah, I could give you a story.
All right,
I'll
let's
give
hear
you a good one too, and it's a local too.
Ooh.
You're going to like this
Ooh,
one.
it's a local. Can I guess? Was it Carolyn Goodman? No.
No, I love Carolyn.
No, okay.
Carolyn's amazing.
I don't know.
Celebrity.
I guess
local on the strip.
A local celebrity on the strip. Who's the magician over at...
you're on it. You're on it.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking... At the Luxor, right?
What's his name?
I forgot his name. How? I can't believe I'm drawing a blank here. Chris Angel.
Yeah,
he was a pain in the ass? All right,
tell you something.
Tell me what happened.
Here it is. So before the show ever got started, we had to shoot a pilot. And when we shot a pilot, we were looking for a celebrity to shoot a pilot. Well, we were able to get Chris Angel to shoot the pilot. And we shot the pilot at his house. And while we were shooting the pilot, it was interactive with MTV Cribs at the time. And MTV Cribs needed, the aquarium had, a lot of noise and things that were going on. And they wanted it completely shut down. And we couldn't shut it down because it had fish in there. So he made us oust the whole aquarium, shut down the filming, and that was it. So we shot all of this stuff, right? And then we wound up having to trash it and can it, and then start back again to shoot the pilot.
That's
the actual
expensive
pilot.
to do that.
Well, it wound up taking us a full year to really get this episode shot because we had already had months of shooting.
A
going
year
on.
for 43 minutes.
Well, not at that point. I'm sorry, for the first 6 episodes, and he was part of that first 6 episodes. It wound up taking us a full year.
Did you ever get an apology from him? Did he ever say he was sorry?
They kicked us out, and that was the end of it.
Have you ever talked to him since?
No, never got a chance to run across them. Just look, I understand. I was a nobody back then. I literally was a pilot. I got it, but we were down to the end. Like it was almost done. The aquarium was in,
and he didn't care.
He didn't care.
He didn't care. Well, that's unfortunate to hear that. You've worked with a ton of celebrities on this show. I remember the episode with Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, you've worked with so many great people. Do you have a story maybe off camera that you can share with us with one of these guys that you worked with that maybe you'll never forget? Somebody that you've always wanted to meet your whole life, and you got to meet them doing this show that you could share with us?
I can tell you just a couple of good celebrity stories. First of all, Shaq is the greatest. The guy's just a really, fun-loving, good-hearted, big individual. He loved Tanked. He loved being a part of it. Tracy Morgan, another one, great-hearted individual.
Such a talented guy.
Such a talented guy, funny. And
so you worked with him way before the accident.
Yeah, way before the accident. Yeah. I'm from Brooklyn. Tracy's from Brooklyn. We hit it off a lot when we were there. He's like my family.
That's cool.
It really.
You still talk to some of these guys?
Yeah, I still talk. It's funny. I talked to Shaq. It's funny. It's about 9 months ago, we're on a different time zone in Florida. All of a sudden, like 5 a.m, my phone rings. My girlfriend looks at me like, "Who's calling you 5 a.m?" I'm like, "Hold on, let me see." It's a block number. I'm like, "I have no idea." I pick it up. I'm like, "Hello," and all of a sudden, "Yo, what's up, big dog?" I'm like, "Yo, what's up, Shaq?" He goes, "Yo, man, I'm sitting here with this kid right here, and he's a big fan, and I told him me and you were boys. So can you say hello?" I'm like, "Yo, dog, it's 5 o'clock in the morning?" He goes, "Yeah, I know. Get up, man. Get up, get up, get up, get up."
So you're telling me Shaq calls you at 5 o'clock in the morning just so one of his friends could say hello
a kid. So one of the kids could say hello. He said, "It's for the kids. It's for the kids."
Any other people that you work with that you still talk to?
I love Johnny Damon.
Oh, that's cool.
Let me tell you something. Johnny is the greatest. That's like, Johnny's not, Johnny's a friend. Johnny's like, a guy that I could call and say, "Hey, I'm coming to Orlando. What are you doing?" He's invited me. We've gone to friends' houses.
What is he doing now, by the way?
He just enjoys life. He does a lot of charity.
He made some money in
signed
baseball.
a few big contracts. Yeah, he's got a lot of businesses that he does. And he's just a good person.
By the way, I was just watching the movie Moneyball again, and they talk about Johnny Damon saying that he wasn't worth the Red Sox $8 million a year contract. I would imagine you probably disagree with that.
Well, you know what? He got the ring. He got the ring with the Red.
Oh, he was a hell of a leadoff
So he's
hitter.
the only one other than Babe Ruth to have a ring with the Yankees and the Red Sox.
That's pretty incredible.
I got to wear both of those rings on my finger.
Hey, you know what? He was a Red Sox. I grew up a Red Sox fan. You probably hate me for that. That's
No, it's
fine.
okay.
But
It's okay.
I enjoyed Johnny Damon's time in Boston. I
Without
thought he
you,
did a
there
good
would
job.
be no rivalry, right?
That is true.
That
is true.
So look, where there's
and the Red Sox are suffering right now, so I'm sure you enjoy that.
And where there's hate, there's love. So
Yes, that is true. By the way, speaking of baseball, what did you make of the Houston Astros and that whole situation? As a Yankees fan, I would imagine you're a Yankees fan, right?
Oh, absolutely, big time.
Those guys cheating with hand signs and all that stuff.
That's crazy.
I mean, this is worse than the Patriots scandal back in the day, and there's one now we'll talk about in a little bit. But as a Yankees fan, that has to piss you off.
Yeah, it's like, what's crazy is you think about all the scandals that happen and how many people actually have to be involved. It's not a one-person thing, and then all these things get kept quiet. I'm sure there's cheating going on everywhere. People always want the advantage no matter what you're in, whether it's business, whether it's sports. You're going to have your son that play fair and you're going to have your son that don't play fair.
Yeah.
That's just part of the game.
Sure.
Obviously, it's been going on since they've tried to fix baseball back in, the 1800s maybe, or 1900s, the early 1900s, I think was one of the Soxes they fixed. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. Look at the new movie that's coming out with Donahue, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, he did it. So, I mean, I watch football today, and let me tell you something. Some of us love to play. We live in Vegas. We sports gamble. And let me tell you something. I watch the refs, and I watch the flags, and I call the flag the yellow demon because they throw it like I feel like everybody's got money on the game.
Listen, we just had Tim Donaghy on the show. Do you remember who Tim Donaghy is? He is the former NBA official that cheated. Yes.
Yeah, the movie is coming.
We just had Tim Donaghy.
Okay.
He's a friend of the show. He's been on the show many times. We had him on last week, and he told me stories about how he would talk to coaches, the head coach, before a game, and the coach would say, yeah, I'm sitting 3 of my starters, and then he would make the phone call to his friends and say, hey, put a lot of money on this because these guys aren't starting. He would also tell me that he would have a meeting with basketball officials before a game, and they would tell them, hey, we're going to tee up blah, blah, blah right away. We're going to get, Rasheed Wallace in foul trouble early in this game just because they don't like him, not even because of gambling. So he would take that information, and he would give it to his boys to be placing $1 million bets.
Yeah, but
literally.
Look at it now, though. Look what's going on now. You're making it way more prevalent, right? Because you're putting sports books in all of America. So now you're giving every college person, every coach, everything access. Look, you had it underground. Now you're having it legitimately. So what's going to happen when, you're that college coach and you're behind on your rent or you're this or that, and it's right there down the block from you? It
happens a lot more than we think.
Exactly.
I want to get back to this aquarium stuff real quickly, and then we're going to talk about your business right now and what you're getting. We'll get into that next segment, get your buddies on, talk a little bit about that. But I wanted to ask you a question. Let's just say I'm a gazillionaire, okay? And I want a shark tank. I want sharks in my house. What would something like that cost?
So, we've done multiple in-house shark aquariums.
Have you really?
Well, Tracy Morgan, if the last episode
he wanted
we did,
a shark in his house?
We turned his entire pool house into a shark tank.
Oh my! How do you maintain that? How do you feed a shark?
You feed them with bags of shrimp.
Just
and
somebody
krill.
you don't like, just throw them into the tank.
A little calamari. That's it.
So how much does something like that cost?
Look, you could spend, honestly, we've done shark tanks for, 150, 200 grand, and we've done shark tanks for $1 million. So long story short is if you're a gazillionaire, I'm going to upsell you. So you're going to spend about $5 million with me.
Describe to me what a $1 million tank looks like.
So a $1 million aquarium, you can actually, if you want to go see one, you can go see it at the Rumfish Grill at St. Petersburg, Florida. You can actually swim in it. There's a restaurant down there, which is amazing. The tank is 30 feet long. I believe it's like 18 feet wide and it's 12 foot tall. And you can swim in it. And it has an archway at the end of it that you actually get to walk underneath, and they live stream it. So it's pretty cool.
What do you think about the Golden Nugget pool? That's kind of cool.
It's awesome. So we didn't build that one. One of our competitors did, but that's a great pool. It's a great facility. What they've done. Our business partners and I we built the Silverton Hotel here in Las Vegas.
That's beautiful there.
Yeah, there's
when you walk in, you see that. I didn't know you built that tank.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. There's a lot of big aquariums over the country, around the country that we've done. We've worked in a lot of public aquariums, putting in windows and panels.
But you work with people that have a lot of money, and you work with businesses that
work with
money.
everybody.
But if you're an average everyday idiot like me, right, making a normal salary,
sure.
And you can't spend $1 million. You can't even spend $100,000, right? What if somebody wants something done? What would you say to somebody like me and say, "Hey, I really love one of these tanks, but I can't afford $100 grand." Kind of like the time when they wanted to charge you $5,000 to build that reality show. You're like, "Well, I'm about $4,999 short."
Exactly.
What would you say to somebody like me that wants to get? Is there a payment plan, or how could that work?
I'm glad that you brought that up. So I left the custom aquarium business with my family. I was working with them for 25 years, and no hard feelings, but 25 years is 25 years. After, most of the times you retire after 25 years. So I'm not retiring from reality television. The show got canceled in December. They had a new president that came on board. Long story short is hopefully we'll be back on the air. If we decide to come back on the air, great. I'll come back with my family. We'll make it work. But what I'm starting to do is I'm focusing on the smaller aquariums, right? The aquariums that are going to be from, 1-2 gallons all the way on up to, let's say, 200-300 gallons. So hopefully within the near future, I'm getting ready to sign a deal here with another company, and we're going to be focusing on, family aquariums for people like you, people that can spend, $1,000, people that can spend $1,500, spend $5,000, $3,000, anywhere in between.
That's more my price range.
You have, how many people out there have that goldfish, right? That goldfish bowl, or that beta, or that one beta. So one of the things that we're going to come out with is we're going to come out with these little 1 gallon all-inclusive filtration, lighting, $29.99, plug it in, put the fish in, and now instead of cleaning that bowl every 2 days, you're cleaning it once a month, and it's really for $30. It's something that I designed, and it's something that they'll be able to get a piece of something with my
I'm
name
glad
on
you're
it.
doing that. That is so cool. Have you ever dealt with, though, celebrities or anybody from the show that just totally broke their tank and screwed it up and didn't take care of the fish and just they gave you a call? They said, hey, I need a renovation. I screwed up. I did, like, they broke it. Has any of that ever happened?
You know, the good thing is that we're lucky because we pass the aquariums on to maintenance companies, and a lot of maintenance companies that we, vet and make sure that they do a good job. They always do a good job. We have our one company out, our buddy Brian Hoover in California. He has Aquatic Contractors. He takes care of all the big celebrities. So long story short, when he takes care of your aquarium, you have absolutely nothing to worry about.
We got to get Chris Angel on the show with you, by the way.
Let's do it.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got to talk about that whole situation and what went down there. Anyway, he is Brett Raymer from the hit show Tanked. It was 15 seasons on the Animal Planet. Incredible. All right, so we only have a couple more minutes here, and then we got to go to break. So we have another segment, but kind of tease this a little bit. Tell me about what you're working on now. Give us kind of a quick rundown on that.
So. Utilizing the skills that I've taken, that I've learned over the years in production and, video, which I've taken a love to. I've brought in a couple of my friends that are in certain types of divisions, and we're going to be taking those divisions, combining them, and bringing a new and awesome business to the Las Vegas Valley.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah, so it is in the Las Vegas Valley.
It is in the Las Vegas Valley.
How long have you lived here, by the way?
I live here, it's coming on 94.
You've been here since 1994.
Yeah,
Wow,
1994.
has the city changed since then, huh?
Unbelievable.
I mean, you could probably talk a little bit about that. You've been here a very, very long time.
I used to remember when Buffalo was a dirt road.
Right. It just seemed like there's a lot of construction going on in Las Vegas. So what do you make of the Vegas Golden Knights and the fact that the Raiders are coming to town and we have the Las Vegas Aces from a sports perspective? Because I know you're a big sports fan and you're a big Cowboys fan. You must be pretty excited of what this city is turning into.
It's absolutely unbelievable. You don't put sports teams in cities that aren't thriving. It just doesn't make sense. And, we are thriving like no other. That's right. And it's super exciting. The one thing that our sports teams have that nobody else has is they have 3 million people that all live within 45 minutes of each other and no outside interference. And that's extremely important for your fan base, because anytime that the Knights or the Raiders are going to be doing something here in town, everyone knows.
Yeah.
And, look, Leo's from New York. The Rangers do something somewhere, nobody knows what's going on. Long story short, it's not community-based. This team right here and the teams here, they're community-based, right. And you really feel that as a community.
Sure.
And, with how the Knights came on and how it happened with what, the tragedy that happened here in Las Vegas and how they brought the city together.
It's incredible.
And where they've come to and how they still continue down that path to be a good team. We just went to the game, the Rangers. I mean, they lost 5-0, but
you guys kicked our asses.
That was the first game that I've ever went to that actually didn't have 1 second to cheer. There was not 1 second.
Wasn't that brutal? What happened?
It wasn't brutal for him. He was jumping up and down, screaming. But long story short is, you know what though?
Was good.
The arena was packed. Every seat is filled, and it's just a great feeling to know that the Raiders are coming. The Aces, just do an unbelievable job.
Right.
I think baseball's on its way. Basketball, I think it's all going to be here eventually.
Sure.
I don't think there's any question about that. So when we come back, we're going to be joined by some of your business associates, Leo and Chachi. Leo is a pretty popular music producer. He's worked with guys and friends with guys like Kanye West. So we'll talk a little bit about that, and we want to talk a little bit about. I guess into more specifics about your business ventures moving forward here. I know you can't say where it's going to be, but you're working on something else now. You just can't give out the location.
Correct.
So we're going to talk to a little bit more about that. He is Brett Raymer from the hit show Tanked, 15 seasons on the Animal Planet Network, which is so cool. It's so awesome, and we're very happy to have him in studio right now. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. We'll continue this with Brett Raymer, and if you have any questions, give us a buzz, 257-5396. That's 257-5396. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Vegas Take, 101.5 FM, 720 AM, K-Dawn. All right, welcome back. It is The Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Our in-studio guest is Brett Raymer from the hit reality TV show Tanked, and he brought some of his business associates with him. So I want to introduce both of them. We have Leo, who is a music producer, who we were just talking a little bit off the air about some of his friendships and personal relationships with some very high-profile people.
Yes, sir.
Including, by the way, my first album I ever bought was Dr. Dre.
Shout out to Dr. Dre.
And you are friends
Shout
with
out to Dre.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool stuff. And also Chachi.
Yes, sir.
I'm just going by your nickname there because I like it.
It's stuck. It's stuck since, yeah.
So you guys are involved in new business ventures with Brett Raymer. So can we all talk about this? Tell me what this is all about.
So obviously, like I said before the break, that I've been in the video business, production business, television world, and I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to, continue that on. And, Leo's in the music world, and, Chachi's been in multiple things, businesses, real estate. And what we've done is, as a business owner, we sat around and we started talking about problems, things that Vegas doesn't have or that maybe has, a little bit of but could use more of. And one of the things that I started thinking about on my side of things, and I'll let these guys individually talk about their things, but on my side of things, as a business owner, podcasting and video podcasting is starting to become tremendous. And as a business owner, if you looked at me, 50 years old, and said, I want a podcast or I want a video podcast, what do I need to do? Right. Be honest with you, I have no idea. Right. I have to go online, start buying equipment, doing it out of mind, find a setting, do this, do that. So what we're going to do is we're in the process of building out a studio where you just show up, right? So you're going to come to us, you buy a package from us, your business comes on, we're going to hook you up with a producer, we're going to give you a director, probably be me, you're probably working directly with me. I'll sit down with you, we'll go through your podcast, we'll make sure that everything's the right way. You'll buy time from us, we'll put attach your social media. So we'll basically be the one-stop shop where you can come. And
this is in Las Vegas.
And this is in Las Vegas. Yep. This will be for anyone, whether you're a real estate agent, whether you're a chef, whether you're a sports guy.
So you're setting up a studio where people could do their podcast. You have all the equipment and the producer and everything set up for them so you can put them on their way and make it sound very professional. And you just charge per hour for something?
We'll charge per hour, but you'll buy a package from us.
That's very smart because podcasting is just getting more and more popular by the day. Right. And there are people that make a ton of money off of their podcasts. So, yeah.
Millions.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I like this idea. I think it's really smart.
We want to up it a notch. We want to take it to the video level too, right? We want to, there's a stage built. We're going to have multiple settings. So you're going to be able to have an ESPN type setting where you're looking directly to the camera. You're going to be able to have a couch setting where you're going to have, multiple people, 4 or 5 people at one time in a couch setting. We're also going to have the V-shaped setting where you just have you and your guest and you're kind of talking to each other.
I'm very jealous because it sounds like it's a lot nicer than the studio that we are sitting in right now. That is 125 degrees in here. I apologize.
Yeah.
So I like this. I like this, and I think it's very smart because this is one of those things where it's just getting bigger and bigger. All right, so Leo, let me get a little background on you. When did you start in the music business?
So I'm 29 now. So I signed my first deal with Sony back in the day. I was about
as a producer.
20. I actually released
at 20?
At 20 years old. So signed a deal with them back when I was 20. I released.
Okay. When I was 20, right. I'm still a moron now, but when I was 20, I didn't even know how to tie my shoes. And you're telling me that you signed a record deal with a record label at 20 years old. How does that happen?
So let me tell you. So it started like this. So I was about 18. I got my first apartment. Didn't know how I was gonna make ends meet. You know how the city life is. I linked up with a guy from Philly. Mm-hmm. And
you're a rap artist back then.
I was doing rap, but I also knew how to produce as well.
Really?
So, yeah. So basically,
where did you learn that at that age? I don't understand.
So I'm going to tell you now. So I used to get on a bus every weekend, go to Philly, and I worked with this guy Chris Rizzolo. He used to produce for Cyndi Lauper, Stevie Wonder, all these reputable people back in the day.
So a very high profile person.
Older cat, yeah. So yeah, he basically took me under the wing, showed me what I needed to know, everything that I, he just put me on into
and that's
game.
How you got your break. Everybody that you talk to, whether it is Jay-Z or Dre, somebody was in their life that helped pave the way for them to get to where they are. Right. That's with everybody. With athletes, doesn't matter what. For me, it was Howard Stern, right? I listened to Howard Stern growing up. He's a New York guy. Brett's a New York guy.
Howard.
I love Howard Stern. Have you ever been on his show, by the way?
What's funny is I actually wasn't on Howard Stern, but Scott Farrell.
Pharrell.
Pharrell's my buddy.
Pharrell.
I've been on Pharrell's show. I'm the #1 guest on Pharrell's show.
He's a good guy.
He's a great guy. He comes to Vegas all the time.
Yeah, he's very funny.
So he took me through the whole set. I actually got to walk the building in New York. He took me through the set when they were with Sirius. I got to walk it, check out the whole set. It was pretty cool.
That's so awesome. All right, Leo, let's get back to you. I don't want to embarrass you here. I find I find it very fascinating. Your career and what you've done at such a young age. Yep. But forget about the music industry and what you do for work for a second. Mm-hmm. The fact that you're getting text messages on Thanksgiving from high-profile people like Jay-Z and the Kardashians and Kanye West, I just find that completely completely fascinating. And to you, it's just a regular relationship. You don't think of the fact that it's Kanye West, but you're friends with these people. It's unbelievable.
In the end of the day, man, I've built solid relationships with people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know a lot of people through people, so it kind of just comes full circle.
You sounded a little bit like Tony Soprano from The Sopranos. I know a lot of people. I like that.
I know a lot of people. Honestly, I just be behind the scenes and
you don't sound like a guy I want to mess with.
The good thing is you got to be doing the right thing to be getting text messages like that.
Well, obviously you're
But
very good at what you do.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we all people, and I feel like when we out here, and outside of whatever we love doing, it's just it's a respect thing.
Not being specific, but when you see one of your high-profile celebrity friends on TV saying something that's in the news that maybe might be a negative or a positive, do you hit them up and you say, "Hey, you doing okay?" Like, I don't know. I'm just giving an example.
I stay out the way, man.
Like if Kanye West,
I stay out the way.
If Kanye West is giving Donald Trump a massage or something,
I stay out the way.
Do you text Kanye and are you like, Kanye, what are you doing?
I stay out the way. I'll stay out the way.
So you don't worry about that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, that's really fascinating.
Yeah.
So and you're producing for a lot of artists today. Do you want to mention any of those?
Yeah, I mean, I keep it low. You know what I'm saying? But everybody who know me, shout out to them.
There's a lot of artists out there. In fact, some that I know personally that they make more money as producers than they did as an artist.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Right. I mean, to me that's incredible. Like, what is some work that you've done with an artist that you would say, wow, that's my best work? Like, do you have an album where you can say that?
I worked on a couple things, man, but in the end of the day, as far as like producing stuff like that, if you're in the right hands, you can definitely make a lot of money.
All right, one embarrassing question. What is it like going to a party with Kanye West?
I've never partied with Kanye.
Dre?
Never partied with Dre.
Really? You're friends with these guys and you never partied with them and hung out with them?
It's low key.
Low key. Very low key.
Right.
That's incredible. That's boring to me. Really? That's
cool.
incredible. What are the Kardashians like?
Everybody
Nice
low
people?
key. Everybody low key.
See, I think they're a lot smarter than they lead off. I think they're actually pretty intelligent women and very smart business people. And then they do this reality show, right? I mean, Brett, you could talk about this. They were very scripted in that show, in my personal opinion, from what I've heard from people around the show. They were very scripted people, and they led themselves for everyone to believe that they're just dumb nitwits. Now, I would say that about Paris Hilton. I would say that about somebody like that. I don't think she's very intelligent. I don't think Paris is very smart. But the Kardashians, in my personal opinion, it's a very intelligent family. They're very good at self-promotion. They know how to make money. Look what they've done with Kendall Jenner. Yeah. I could say right now, what has Kendall Jenner ever accomplished in her life? She's very attractive, don't get me wrong.
Victoria's Secret.
She's made a ton of money just with her name. Yeah. I mean, I can appreciate that. That's what I'm trying to say. That is an ability.
But, you know, and most look, the mom is a genius in what she did. You know, I've never personally met the Kardashians.
What about the dad getting boobs? Like, what do you make of that whole situation?
I mean, so here's the craziest thing, man. So
that's a reality show.
I grew up with that guy on the Wheaties. I grew up with him on the Wheaties box. So you got to remember, that's right in my prime day. I mean, Bruce Jenner was the guy when he won the decathlon. I mean, he was the Wheaties guy, you know. So going through that whole transformation and seeing that was just kind of odd for somebody like me. I know maybe somebody that's 20 years younger than me, the future generation, like it was okay, acceptable, but it was just odd. Not that it wasn't, I don't accept it. It was just odd for me because I used to watch that guy and what he did with the Olympics, and it was just amazing,
What happened to him? I mean, that's his choice. I get that, but it's like, I felt like, I don't know why we're talking about this, but I felt like that Jenner did that with the whole boobs and all that stuff for publicity. That's what I thought, and now I'm starting to think I was wrong.
Yeah, I know. I think everybody thought that. I think everybody thought that.
No, because, good-looking guy, good-looking family, and then, boom, just one day he decides he wants to be a woman. I was like, wow, that's somewhat interesting, I guess you could say. But anyway, we are joined by Brett Raymer, the hit show Tanked, 15 seasons, and in studio, Leo and Chachi. Chachi, why don't you talk to me? And thanks for being here, by the way. Talk to me.
You got it, man.
I won't ask you any Kanye West questions, I promise.
Good. You're good.
So talk to me about how you met Brett and how you guys formed this business relationship where you got this, you're going to be building these studios. Is it already built, by the way?
It's in the process.
It's built. It's built. The studio's built.
But you're not allowed to say where it is.
Right. Not yet.
Okay.
It's built, but the equipment is on its way.
So it's not on top of the stratosphere or anything?
No. We're probably about 4 to 6 weeks out from opening.
So what do you charge for something like that? So if I wanted to rent out your studio and do a 2-hour show, what would that cost me? Like what would that be about?
I don't know. It's going to range a few $100s an hour. You know, we're going to sell it to you as a package. So like what we want to do is I'm not going to sell you one podcast. So I'll give you an example. You come in, you tell me you're a business owner and you want to do a podcast. First thing I'm going to do is tell you, look, you're not going to get any results with one podcast. We want you to have 6 podcasts, a dozen podcasts. And then what we're going to do is you're going to tell me what your business is. I'm going to learn a little bit about your business. Then we're going to go through what each podcast is going to be about. So we're going to sell you a $2,500 package that's going to include video production, 6 podcasts. It's going to include the studio time, a producer. All you're really going to have to do is kind of come to us and sit down and show us what to do. But the cool thing is the setting that we're doing this in, you're going to have multiple podcast settings.
The best part.
So the ultimate thing is that if you're a sports guy, you're going to be in a sports setting. If you're a chef, we're going to have you in a chef setting. If you're a salon, we're going to have you in a salon setting.
420 friendly too.
There's not one thing that you're not going to be able to do that we're not going to be able to have a setting for you to do. So we think video podcasting is going to be the next step where people are going to be able to continue with YouTube But when you come in, we're going to take your whole brand and build it for you. So if your social media doesn't match your podcasting, if it's not matching your website, if it's not matching your branding, we're going to help you create that, put it all together, and then help your podcast build your business.
I'm going to have to give we're going to have to give KDW a call this afternoon and tell them that we're going to be switching studios.
Sorry.
I love it. And I promise you, you guys would love it.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
gonna
Love it.
There's a pool
I
table.
can't wait to
that
check
is-
it out. I
it's
can't wait
pretty
to
nice.
check it out and take a little tour of it. It
Yeah, for
sounds
sure.
fun. Well, I certainly wish you success with that.
Thank you.
With what you've done with your show over the course of 15 seasons, I have no doubt that you will have great success with this new business venture. Very cool that you've called Las Vegas your home for so many years. And guys, I just want to thank all 3 of you for coming in. This has been really fascinating. Please say hello to Kanye for me and Dr. Dre.
Appreciate you having me.
By the way, do you know Suge Knight?
No, I don't know Suge.
Former UNLV. Former
I've met him.
I know the
times.
people.
Have you met
know
Suge?
people.
We built.
know
We did some aquarium work for Suge.
Did you really?
Yeah, back in the day.
What
yeah.
was he like?
He had his house on Tamiyasu, right by Mike Tyson. We did work for Tyson too. Back in the
you
day.
did some stuff for Mike.
Yeah.
See, Mike Tyson is one of those guys where I'm happy for him because it seems like he's
Good
doing
guy.
a lot. But he really is a good guy.
Awesome.
You want to talk about somebody that I believe has been misunderstood because I've met this guy. He's a gentle, nice, kind man. He had some anger issues.
Got railroaded
He's
by Don King.
Yes,
Come on, huh?
exactly. And by the way, it is my personal opinion. I'll probably get killed for this, but I don't think he ever raped anybody. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think that was rape. I think he got totally screwed over, and I don't think he's a criminal. He had a tough growing up. Didn't really have parents in his life. I know what Cuss was his father figure.
And then
growing
once
up,
he
right?
went,
Yeah, but he seems to me to be a good father and a good husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm really happy for him. How about Sheldon Adelson? Has Adelson ever hit you up? He's got more money.
You
than
know,
anybody.
we did Adelson's house. Actually, the one that looks like the White House in
The golf
Spanish
course?
Trails. Yeah, the one in
Yeah,
Spanish
yeah.
Trails. Yeah, we did that. Not Spanish Trails. Eagle Hills.
Yeah.
He's in Eagle Hills. But yeah, we did a tank over there for him. And then, long story short, is we've done a lot of celebrities, a lot of different people. It's
Steve
been
Wynn?
awesome.
You ever did anything with
I've
Steve
done,
Wynn?
not at Steve Wynn's house, but I've done the hotel.
I bet he has a lot of masseuse tables at his house. So it's just my
Yeah.
personal opinion on that. Any other prominent Vegas people or politicians that you've worked with over the years? Anything for Donald Trump?
No, Donald Trump.
No
I wouldn't
Donald
mind.
Trump.
I wouldn't mind doing one in the White House, though.
See, I would think
There you go.
Barack Obama's just a cool guy. I would have thought Obama would have had like a Shark Tank in his house. Or
the
something,
funny thing is growing up in Brooklyn, we all hung out in Trump Village. That's where we all
Did
hung
you
out.
really?
We all hung out in Trump Village growing up in Brooklyn. So, all my friends were all growing up. We're all Trump fans. Long story short is, I'm not saying he does the greatest thing, and I'm not a politic guy. I try to keep politics out of it.
It's my job. I have to do it.
I know, I get it. Look, you're going to have, no matter who the president is, no, listen, I'm going to tell you this straight up. No matter who the president is, you're going to have half people that love him, half people that hate him. Bottom line is, it's always going to be like
There's
that.
always going to be biased people, and I completely agree with you on
Always.
that. But I've supported Republicans. I actually thought John McCain was a really good man and a hero, and I thought Mitt Romney was a decent guy. The only reason, not really to get into politics, but I will anyway. The reason why I'm not a Donald Trump guy has 95% nothing to do with policy. And everything to do with just the way he treats people, the way he talks, the way
I
he
agree.
acts.
I'm not saying he does things the right way, but
Was
you
he
know
like
what?
that? Was he like that back home when growing up? Like,
Yeah, everybody knew how Trump was. But long story short is all these past presidents that were all prim and proper,
Yeah.
they were the most corrupt. So long story short is, you know what? Obviously, we got somebody out there like he's doing what he's doing. He's not doing it the right way, but that's why everybody hates him, because he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. And long story short is, I've watched prim and proper presidents over the years, and you know what? Everything that's come out from the scandals and the this and the that, and long story short is, everybody does it. So you know what? If the guy's talking a little bit bad and a little bit this and that, but our country's doing better, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like phoniness, and I do think that the majority of politicians today are absolutely phony. It's the reason why I didn't vote for Hillary Clinton, although she just did an interview on the Howard Stern show, and I thought she did a great job. We finally saw the real Hillary Clinton. But yeah, I agree with you in this sense. Yes, I do think Donald Trump is corrupt as well, but he certainly speaks his mind and doesn't stop himself ever. But I also think that is because that's the way he lived his life. He's had yes men around him his whole life. Nobody said, hey, Donald, you can't talk to somebody like that. Where I think, Barack Obama, for example, he was brought up to respect others and so on and so forth. I don't mind the honesty. I like that. What I don't like is disrespect.
He's a New Yorker.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, look.
But you would never, I don't think you would ever say something about John McCain, like you don't respect John McCain because he was captured. That's something Donald Trump said.
Absolutely. I mean, look, some of the things I don't agree with at all. Look, everybody says a lot of things, and he's very outspoken. And long story short is, a lot of people probably many, many moons ago would have been outspoken too, but they didn't have the platform. Right now,
social media.
Yeah, that's the problem. See, today's day and age, why everybody's, look, growing up as a kid, you think I cared about politics? I didn't have a clue about politics, but you know what? Kids now today's day and age, because it's on their social media, care about politics. So social media has made the world
and Donald
informed.
Trump, one thing I will say about him is he's gotten people involved. He's great for my show. And I've said this as much as I hate the guy, and I really do. I've said this on the air, and I'll say it again. I might vote for him in 2020 for one reason, well, maybe two reasons. I don't think there's any Democrats that have a chance to beat him and that I support. And the second reason being, I think he's great for our radio show. So
there you go. There you go.
I might vote for him. Right? I might vote for him for that reason alone.
Yeah, the positive.
Great for business. But long story short is, we're really excited about putting this business venture together. And not only is it going to be a podcasting studio, most importantly, like I always preach, education. We're going to be giving classes. If you're an adult and you want to, get into a new career, you want to be mixing and mastering, we have the best. So, producers, you want to learn about reality television.
So are you going to be in the studio and all this stuff? See that now that's pretty cool. Yep. Somebody that had been successful as you've been in the music.
I'm going to be in the studio directing. We're going to have Leo producing. We're going to have Chachi handling business affairs.
Right. That's incredible.
You're going to get the top notch of the top notch people.
And we got some good people coming in
the ultimate environment, I promise.
See, that's pretty cool. Somebody that has 15 years of doing a hit reality TV show, somebody that has relationships like you have, friendships with some of the top musicians in the business.
Yes,
and I think that is extremely valuable. Chachi, I'm not trying to leave you out of this as well.
Man, I love you either way. I love you either way. I'm just happy to be
Chachi
here.
handles our business affairs. We also have a mobile LED truck we just bought.
That's
Yes,
right.
sir.
Holy smokes.
We just bought a mobile billboard
So when
truck.
is this thing going to be done? When is the studio going to be done?
I would say the end of,
New
by
Year's.
I'm hoping by Super Bowl it'll be finished.
Well, you know what? We would love to check it out.
Oh, you guys will be invited.
I would love to check it out, and all you guys are obviously pretty successful people. So I have no doubt that you will have a success when it comes to this. And I think the podcasting it's getting bigger and bigger. A lot of people are doing it. So
we're going to make it easy peasy. Long story short is you're going to be able to walk in and just really come in with a script and come and have it done no matter what it is.
Can you give me a hint? Is it anywhere near the Strip? Are you allowed to say?
No, it's not near the Strip.
Okay.
It's away from the Strip.
So it's in a quiet area.
We don't want it near the Strip. We want it away from the Strip where if celebrities come, they're not going to be secluded. It's going to be.
Is it a separate building or is it in
separate building?
It is. Okay, so that's really cool.
It's on
so
its
you're
own.
starting.
It's its own entity. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So you're literally. Is there a name for this company?
It's called Swag House Studios.
Swag House Studios.
Shout out Swag House Studios.
Swag House.
I like that. I like the name. That's pretty innovative. I think you're going to be doing reality TV again.
Yeah,
I don't think this is the end for you.
Nah.
When you have 15 episodes or 15 seasons, of success, there are people that are going to come. I would imagine people are coming at you, right, and saying, "Hey, let's try this."
Well,
let's do
I told
this.
you, the show's only been off the air a year, and it went off the air for the wrong reasons. So the president
explain that. Why did it go off the air?
So long story short, we were one of the most expensive shows to make, hands down. But you know what? You pay for what you get, right? So they didn't want to pay. If you watch Animal Planet now, this last year they've been running our show religiously, and they're getting paid without having to pay any production. But bottom line is, there's only so much you can run that before the fans start getting irritated. Well, Animal Planet, Discovery overall had an amazing year, but Animal Planet didn't have the greatest of year. They brought in a new president who just got relieved of her duties come the end of this year. So the new people that have come on board Obviously, our show's been airing 4 times a week. It's still there. They didn't have a lot of successful shows. I believe in my heart that we were the face of Animal Planet, and we made that network. And you know what?
Of course you did.
I believe that we'll be back. I believe we'll be back. And you know what? I have a lot of things. I can't wait to open a studio. I've always wanted to. I work on stand-up. You know, like you said, none of it's scripted. The comedy and the funniness, that all comes from me, you know. And I've been working on a little bit of stand-up. So I have some things that we're working on. That this whole studio collaboration thing is going to bring many, many, many of our projects to light.
Other than your show, I'm trying to remember the name of the man. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name, who was killed. Now his son is on Animal Planet. Why am I drawing a blank with this guy? But you know,
Steve Irwin.
Yeah, I used to watch Steve Irwin a lot. I thought he was a legend.
Yeah, crikey, it's the Irwins. Yeah,
yeah. Holy crikey! Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. And then when he passed away, I was very disappointed to see that. But that was, to me, that was great reality TV, right? Because he's bonding with these animals and he's so knowledgeable.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and he had such a passion for it. I think we've lost that in reality TV today. You know, I think there are some great shows like yours that was out there, but I think there's too many reality shows. It's not reality TV. I feel like people act differently when there's a camera in front of them. I remember MTV The Real World. First couple of years they were doing that, I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. And then it turned into just good-looking models that are trying to get acting careers.
Transition.
And it was boring, right? I think we've lost that in reality TV.
True.
I mean, I feel like MTV, that, you know, we forgot what a music video is, right?
Yeah.
It's all reality television now.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. You know, the one thing I liked about our show is I liked the fact that it wasn't scripted and that it was a building show. So you always had something to look forward to. You know, with a lot of these shows like the Kardashians, it's story based. You're not looking for a build. There's nothing there to it. So you have to come up with something that's going to give the people the reason to come back for more.
Of course.
You know, long story short is that when you have building shows, they're coming back for multiple reasons. They're coming back for education, the family, the build, you know, different environments. When you have reality shows that are just straight reality, you got to figure out a way to make it happen. And you know what? You got to give them credit. Look, they've got tons of seasons, tons of money. Bottom line is I wish my reality show had their reality show money. Trust me.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Well, before we go, we only got about a minute here, but I want you guys to give out the information. So if people want to get involved with this new business venture, whether they want to invest in it or whether they just want to be clients and want to already at this point sit down with you and talk about it, how do they contact you? How do they reach you guys? How do they reach the company to get involved?
So I'm going to give my personal email out right now. Just email us there. All the social media, all the web design, it's all being done right now. So I don't want to, leak it out, but just email me at my name at brettraymer@gmail.com. That's BRETTRAYMER@gmail.com. Any information you need on the studio or, any information just in general. I reach out. It's funny is my social media is run by me. I reach out to all my fans. I go live twice a week. I get online.
Awesome.
I actually make people bring their kids to the screen, and then I give shout outs to their kids right on the screen while they're standing there. And they're like, you just made my kids weak. Like it makes me feel good. Like to give shout outs live to people just because they
That's really cool.
So I like to do that. So like I said, they have my email address. You need anything, we're here for you.
That's awesome. And Leo, if I wanted a date with Kim Kardashian, no, I'm just kidding. Horrible joke. I'm sorry. Horrible joke.
Maybe the sisters.
Gentlemen, seriously, thank you so much for taking some
Our
time to join
pleasure,
us.
man. Our
Really
pleasure.
appreciate it. I really look forward to checking out the new studios. I think it's going to be awesome, and I think it's a very, very smart business decision that you guys are making because podcasting has erupted over the course of the last decade or so. So congratulations on all your success.
Appreciate it.
Look forward to talking to you guys again, and that's it for us, folks. Another show in the books. Tomorrow we got Kenny Mayne, former UNLV player, a former UNLV quarterback, actually, and SportsCenter anchor. He's going to be joining us tomorrow. We will give you an update on the impeachment inquiry proceedings and all that good stuff. Have a great day, everybody. The man himself, Sean Hannity, is coming up next.